Good day, everyone, and welcome to the Pan Global Resources Investor Webcast. This is the latest in our series of webcasts this year to update shareholders and those who are interested in becoming investors in the company. I'm Jason Mercier, the Vice President of Investor Relations and Communications with Pan Global, and with me today is Tim Moody, who is our President and CEO. There's a few things we'll touch on the webcast today, and then we'll do a Q&A at the end of the session. Please feel free to put your questions into the chat. This webcast is following on our most recent results at La Romana at our flagship project, the Escacena Project in southern Spain. We had some of the best copper intercepts to date in the extension area in the western portion of the main deposit. As we've seen with comments from BHP and the record turnout at Beaver Creek recently, there's a very strong interest in the commodity sector and what is going to be happening here in the near future with accelerating prices for copper and other commodities. I'd like to also mention that we'll have continuous news flow here in the next little while, both from the Escacena Project as well as the Anomalies project in northern Spain, which is our newest pipeline project that we've got underway. Without any further comment, I will be turning it over here to Tim Moody, and just a note that this webcast is being recorded. Tim.
All right, thanks, Jason, and hello, everybody, once again. As Jason said, we'll have some forward-looking statements. So really today's update will focus on the last couple of news releases, as Jason mentioned, but just a couple of reminders initially. So both news releases relate to our Escacena project in southern Spain in what's known as the Iberian Pirate Belt. This is a very prolific mining area. As I've said before, there's at least 7 operating mines in the belt with major operators such as Neves, Lundin and Sandfire and so on. So we're amongst good company. It's a very active mining area with excellent infrastructure, etc. So, why invest in Pan Global? Well, I think we represent excellent value at today's share price. Like many juniors, our share price is well below where it was a couple of years ago. But we're doing everything we can to try and address that and reverse the trend and get back to the good prices we were seeing previously. So we're essentially exploring for copper. It's an energy transition metal. It's perhaps the most important one. And we have an advanced copper discovery close to being a resource. In fact, it probably is resource ready today. But it's one of the few new copper discoveries near surface, potentially open pitable, that in Europe that could be brought to production within the next decade. So, very unique situation. We have a very experienced board and management team. 2 or 3, we have 3 mining engineers on our team, experienced from taking projects right the way through from pre-resource through to mine closure, in fact. So that's a very unique situation for us. I think I also want to just highlight that we have excellent, an excellent portfolio of high priority exploration targets. In fact, I think at the moment our exploration portfolio is as strong as it's ever looked. And I really think we're in a very good position to make additional discoveries over the next 12 months or so. I mentioned the location. Spain has a very good track record, at least in the Iberian Pirate Belt, southern Spain, for converting exploration success into mining projects. And we are very uniquely located with mines, with 3 big mines within 30-kilometre radius of our project. So, as Jason said, we're going to talk really about news at La Romana and Bravo. So La Romana is about, and this map just shows the outline of our Escacena project area in yellow. La Romana is about 6 kilometres from Anomalies, and the Bravo target is about 4.5 kilometres from the former open pit at Escacena. So it sits in a straight line between the two. Both Laramana and Bravo were large gravity targets, and gravity, as I've mentioned, is a very effective exploration tool in the Iberian Pirate Belt. It's led to a number of discoveries by directly drilling gravity anomalies. You can see the gravity anomalies related to the Anomalies and Los Frailes massive sulfide deposits. Anomalies is about a 90 million tonne massive sulfide. Los Frailes is about a 60 million tonne 70 million tonne massive sulfide. So these are very big VMS deposits. Our first targets testing our first drill holes into our first target were at Laramana, and those two holes intersected mineralisation, and they were our discovery holes. So at the time we started exploring Laramana, we didn't have the ground over the Bravo target, but as soon as we did, this was a very high priority target. We haven't been able to access that anomaly to conduct exploration until the last few weeks. So we've really made great advances on that since then. It remains a very high priority target, and hopefully the results that we're seeing now will help you convince you of that. But we have many other targets in the area that are still untested. So just zooming in on the Laramana gravity anomaly first and the latest drill results. So we commenced a 25-hole program really designed to delineate the western extension of the Laramana deposit. We began that last year. These latest 3 holes are at the back end of that program. We have about another 2 or 3 holes to complete, but these 3 holes all were successful in intersecting and extending the high-grade zone that we've been intersecting some of the other recent drilling in the western extension of Laramana. So hole 182, which was just drilled here, is looking to extend the mineralisation to the north, where it remains open. Hole 181, which is our best drill hole, was looking to test the extension of the high-grade zone to the east and drilling in a gap in the drilling to date, and that was probably our best result in that western extension drilling program with 18 metres at 1.24% copper equivalent. That's about 12 or 13 metres true thickness. It's an excellent result at about 60 metres vertical depth. And then hole 183 was drilled off to the northwest. It's our northwesternmost drill hole, and that also intersected the high-grade zone, another 9 metres at 1.3% copper equivalent. So the mineralisation remains wide open to the northwest, and we can see potential for the mineralisation to extend a further 400 metres beyond where we've drilled to date. So there's plenty of room for this to grow as things stand at the moment, and we're clearly going to need more drilling in that direction in the near future. So some cross sections. The first here just showing 2 of the holes, hole 181, which is the best result of the 25-hole program to date, 18 metres at 1.24%, includes 5 metres at 3.5%. Just here, very good coincidence with a downhole EM conductor anomaly. And now we see, based on these results, we see potential for the mineralisation to extend all the way to surface, and we could get a very nice high-grade enrichment zone at the interface between the oxide zone and the sulfides. So, there's certainly room for an even stronger result as we drill another hole further up dip from this. Hole 182, stepping down dip to test the northern limit of the downhole EM. That also extended the mineralisation, and it remains open and to the north as well. Another section, this is the westernmost cross section, again testing the downhole EM conductor and trying to extend the higher grade zone off to the west, and you can see a very good coincidence of the mineralisation here with the conductor plate here and again, 9 metres at 1.3% copper. That's roughly true thickness. And as I say, it's completely open both down dip and to the west. So it certainly looks likely that La Romana is going to grow beyond where it is today, and it currently stands at about 1.5 kilometres strike length, with mineralisation coming to surface in some areas, dipping away to the north about 35 to 40 degrees, which is ideal for an open pit. So this is really starting to get some size. So this is a new slide. We've been doing some further analysis, looking at all the drilling and so on, to see where the further potential lies at La Romana. So this is a plan view with the bubbles showing the grade thickness for each drill hole, where it intersects what we call Zone B, which is the main copper layer at La Romana. There are other layers, both beneath and above this, but this is the main copper zone. So the first thing you can see is the western extension drilling. The mineralisation remains completely open, both to the northwest and north, as I showed in the previous slides. And interestingly, we have another area where the drilling still remains open down dip, more in the centre of the deposit. This blue area here is the tin, a more tin-rich zone, and typically that is at the centre of these zone systems and can zone out into copper and then further out into lead and zinc. So we think there's very good potential here for this, for the higher grade copper zone to extend and wrap around this tin area of higher tin. So yeah, this is very much open to the north in this area, and within the depth it could be bored into an open pit. And then off to the northeast of the deposit, where we have some of the highest grade intersections at La Romana, we can see that this remains open down dip as well. So this is starting to get to the limits of a potential open pit, and we may be starting to get into perhaps an area where we might need an underground extension. But anyway, we can see further potential there. And with just these three areas alone, yeah, we could see potential for up to another 10 or 15 million tonnes of mineralisation. So this is, La Romana is far from over. It's got plenty of room to grow here. So we're pretty excited, and we're clearly going to need more drilling. But just to highlight this is this red line here is roughly outlines the greater than 10 metre, and it goes up to 51% thickness of the copper mineralisation. So when you consider that most VMS deposits rarely get greater than 20 metres thickness, and they range from a few metres up to about 20 or 30 metres generally, this is really indicating the size potential at La Romana. So as I say, from about the eastern end to the western end is about 1.5 kilometres. Comes to surface in the south and dips, slopes away to the north in this direction. So lots of upside potential. So as we've said before, I think La Romana has a lot of things going for it. Near surface, simple geometry, excellent metallurgy. We've published some really good results for the project earlier this year. Very simple topography, great access, near other mines, etc. There's no, you're allowed to build open pits in Spain, in this area of Spain. There's no restrictions in that regard. As I say, we're very close to some of the other mines, and potentially, some of the perhaps lower cost options could be to truck or conveyor belt some of the mineralisation to one of those nearby mines. So, and with the very good metallurgy that we have, I think that would make that mineralisation very desirable for the other miners, which have much more difficult metallurgy. Right, so turning to Bravo. So this is this big gravity anomaly about 1 kilometre to the east of La Romana, which we only got access to a few weeks ago. We hit the ground running with a detailed gravity survey and a soil sampling survey program. And we've now covered the entire gravity anomaly, and we've now decided to expand the soil geochemistry program to the surrounding areas and try and join up and test the area between La Romana and Bravo. But you can see the topography here. From here, you can see the dumps of the Asnaquoy and Los Frailes mines. It's very simple topography, etc., as you can see. So this is a summary map here showing the gravity anomalies, which are the sort of pink blobs in the background. La Romana here, about 1 kilometre away, is the Bravo anomaly. This is the new gravity survey results. And we have this large lead zinc soil anomaly sitting over the top. So it's covered the combined gravity and soil anomaly covers about 2 kilometres by 1.5 kilometres. So this is a very big target, completely untested. And it clearly justifies being a very high priority in our pipeline at this stage. So we'll look to now with this having all the survey results in hand, we'll look to do some very detailed gravity modelling, which is actually underway right at the moment, and then look to place perhaps 3 or 4 lines of IP and/or electromagnetics just to help better position the drill holes. And we could be ready to drill here as early as October. So things are moving very quickly, as I say, and this is so far, everything's lining up, and this is building into a very strong and exciting target. So the concept here is that the gravity anomaly, this is a cross-section here, a simple cartoon. The gravity anomaly could represent massive sulfide or be indicating massive sulfide at depth. And we're getting a coherent lead-zinc anomaly over the top of this gravity feature, as I showed before. That could represent either the outer parts or the upper parts of a massive sulfide system. These are typically zoned going from copper and in the centre out to lead and zinc in the edges or above. There are plenty of examples of that. But we also have a layer of post-mineral sediments, so a cover over the top of this. So the fact that we're getting a lead-zinc anomaly or any geochemical expression at all is a bonus. But that could be telling us that we have mineralisation close to surface in this area. So let's hope that's the case. The other interpretation could be that the higher lead we're seeing here could be reflecting the oxidation and the remobilisation of lead into this post-mineral cover sediments. So, and you see that quite often. Copper tends to leach downwards, so hence you get sometimes these enrichment zones, and lead tends to enrich or get higher grade in the oxide parts of these deposits. So, it all seems to be lining up very well, but this is just a very simple concept of what we're looking for. So these are some of the results we just published. You can see the lead-zinc, combined lead-zinc here, with the highest values in this purple, up to 0.1213% lead plus zinc, coincident with the peak of the gravity anomaly. So, that's a very good relationship, and it's a very strong indicator of potential underlying sulfide mineralisation. In addition to that, we assayed 2 lines for silver as well, and we're seeing up to 5 grams silver, which is very unusual when you consider we have a much younger sediment sitting over the top of this gravity feature, if you like, concealing what may be mineralisation underneath. So that's also a very good indicator that this could be related to a massive sulfide system as well. So great results at this early stage, big target, very coherent anomaly, as you can see. We look forward to drilling this hopefully before the end of the year. All right, well, perhaps this is a good time to turn over to you, Jason, and you can finish up, and then we can take some questions.
Thank you, Tim. Yeah, I appreciate it. We've done our last financing in October of 2023. That increased our institutional shareholder base fairly significantly. We have had very strong high net worth support and support from retail, as well as obviously insiders. The team that we have in place now, as Tim referred to, have done everything from exploration to development through permitting and working at operating mining companies. So very deep pool from the director side as well as management. We have coverage from SCP from Justin Chan with a target of 75 cents. And last reported 3.5 million on hand for cash. Tim can speak more to that as we go along here. We also have Eric Coffin covering us from the newsletter writers, and I know that there's quite a few U.S. investors have come to us through his coverage. And maybe we can go to the next.
Yep.
So just speaking to the catalysts, obviously a number of milestones achieved this year with both the copper and tin metallurgy results. Those got noticed in the market quite well. We've continued to do more work on metallurgy at La Romana. And then obviously drilling on the extension for La Romana as well. Those results, obviously, Tim just speaking to some of those today. And Kenyatta Honda, our second discovery with copper gold in the north, has continued to expand as we've been drilling that out. Obviously, the most recent news for us is the new Bravo target access that we've received and the results that are progressing in that area. And our other pipeline project, Kamenas in the north, we will be doing some additional test work there, and that will also contribute to our news flow as we're going forward. So still more news flow to come from La Romana. Obviously, Bravo ongoing work, and we'll have more news flow coming from that, and then Kamenas as well. So a pretty significant amount of work ahead for us. Looking forward to telling you more about that as we go along. But appreciate the support from all of our shareholders. So maybe, Tim, now we can go to the Q&A.
Okay.
Just looking at the first questions. There's a few in the Q&A, and obviously encourage people to add their questions as well. What additional drill results are we waiting for? What news should we expect from the company for the remainder of the year? So I just spoke to the news, but maybe, Tim, you can elaborate a little bit about drill results.
Yeah, we have a couple more drill holes to report from the west of La Romana, and I expect we'll be drilling again soon. As usual, we have a bit of a pause during August, and now we're back into September, so I expect we'll be drilling again soon. But as with most juniors, we're being very careful with our money. We always have been anyway. We're a low-cost operator, but I'd love to be drilling a lot more, a lot faster than we are at the moment. But unless we start to see more reward for good results, I think we're going to continue to be very tight with our budget, and we'll be pretty sparing with our drilling as well. So, but we expect to have more drill results before the end of the year from both La Romana and the Escacena Project. Hopefully, we'll be drilling at Bravo before the end of the year, if not sooner. And also, we're also waiting for permitting to start drilling one of the breccia pipes on the new project area, Carmenes, up in the north of Spain as well, which is a really exciting target. Underground sampling showing very high copper grades, close to surface, never drilled. Really exciting target as well.
Great. Well, you took one of the other questions that was there, which was when can you drill Bravo? So hopefully before the end of the year is the idea. When will a resource on La Romana be started, and how long will it take to publish? And related to that, how soon will investors see a PEA on La Romana?
Yeah, so we could put out a resource on La Romana today. We've from the studies we've done, most of the area we've drilled perhaps to measured and indicated category if we were to publish a resource as things are. But our position, we've remained consistent on that. We really want to see how big La Romana might be, just to test the extents of it before we publish a resource. And as I showed today, I think there's good reason to believe that La Romana could grow significantly from where it is today. So It's really just a case of getting on with the drilling there and trying to define the boundaries. I don't think we need to drill it to the same density as we did for much of the deposit to date, but we certainly need to do some more drilling to understand the limits better. In terms of how quickly we could put out a PEA, well, we're very well advanced on the other studies. We started environmental baseline work 2 years ago. We've got advanced metallurgy. The metallurgy is at sort of pre-feasibility or feasibility study level. We're doing some additional sort of minor metallurgy work as well, aiming to further find benefits from the concentrates, etc. So basically, we could come out with a PEA either coincidental with the resource or very shortly thereafter. So that's our objective. And look, I would hope that we can have drilled off those edges, delineated the extent of the mineralisation at Laramana, and come out with a resource sometime next year.
That's great. Tim, and I guess this is sort of a combined question, but they're asking, what is the most up-to-date working capital situation for the company, and do you have the budget to drill Bravo?
Yes, we have around 1.5 million in the bank, so we have money to be able to drill a couple of holes into Bravo, and as I say, we also want to drill a couple of holes at the Providencia target up at the Carmenes project in the north as well.
Okay, and what are the significant implications for us with Los Frailes soon receiving the final mining approval for the 450 million euro project?
Well, I think the interest in what Pan Global is doing, I think, grows in terms of having perhaps the third or fourth largest copper miner in the world right on our doorstep. We have, as I say, very, very copper mineralizations, got excellent metallurgy. It should be desirable for most of the other mines in the area, either for blending or just purely because of the value of it. So I think it does change things. I expect that the bigger miners will continue to and are observing the success we've had and continue to watch the success that we might have over the next year or two as we test some of these other targets. A good result at Bravo could really change things dramatically in terms of the interest from the bigger companies around us.
That's great. And I guess another aspect of catalysts for Pan Global as a greenfield exploration company that is rare in the copper space now. A lot of projects are brownfield projects. So this is genuine greenfield exploration that we do, but also that not only Los Frailes being next to us, but of course First Quantum's Las Cruces mine, which is 12 kilometers to the east. One thing that was reported in Spanish media that didn't get a lot of English coverage, but is that apparently First Quantum is narrowed down to two different parties that could acquire that mine. So either whether it's an existing operator in the belt or if it's somebody new to the belt, I think that's also something that could be looked at very positively as an external catalyst for Pan Global.
Yeah, things, but they're both those could be quite important for how Pan Global's viewed in the area. And really, as you say, we are a grassroots explorer, but we're in a brownfields environment when it comes to Laramana. We're within conveyor belt distance of Laramana. Of the Escacena Los Frailes area that Grupo Mexico are operating at, or from where the Las Cruces mine is, where First Quantum were operating.
Yeah. Well, I guess maybe to summarize it up, we're at the end of the questions, but just to emphasize, my personal approach and how I do junior resource investing, and I recommend to anybody to use something as a similar parameter. I know, and Michael Gentili also has spoken about this too, is that you really look at the three P's. You look at the people, the place, and the project, and I think we've got the right people involved with Pan Global. Obviously, working in southern Spain in a heavily mined and area that continues to permit new mines is obviously the right place. And I think with the projects that we have, you've got near surface copper mineralization, which is again something that is really rare in the world now. The mines are going deeper and deeper in the Iberian Pyrite Belt and elsewhere. So I think you've got the three clearances for your investment filter if you're looking at investing in a copper exploration company. Tim, any final words as we end the call?
Thanks everyone. And we look forward to putting out some more good news before the end of the year. Watch this space.
Thank you, everyone. Good day.